Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Man Cave. My name is Paul Knapp, and we are live tonight. I will put up the chats real early just to see who's out there right now. If anybody's out there watching, make sure you chat in and say hi. If you have any questions for our guest tonight, it's going to be interesting tonight. I have 5 individuals that I've never had on the show before. Usually I have 1 special guest. Tonight I have 4 for my panel, which are special guests, and 1 mystery guest that I have in the waiting. So if you have any questions for these guys as I bring them up, go ahead and ask. My first guest is from the great state of Michigan. We're not sure if he is a Spartan or a Wolverine. We'll find out later. This group calls him the granddaddy of this group. His name is Randy Hamrick. Randy.
Hi, gang.
You already got 2 people in here. Jim Egner. Oh, Jim was on our show last week. Nice.
Hi,
Thanks
Jim.
for joining us, Jim. Who's up next? Let's see. How about our California guys? Joining us from the West Coast, it's about 5 o'clock his time. We dragged his ass off the beach, and he put a surfboard up just for us tonight. We got this guy, Terry Lark.
How you guys doing? Good to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also from California, this guy's a former Marine. To our panel tonight, one of our 2 former Marines. We think he was actually around during the recruitment drive of Ton Tavern back in 1775. We're not sure, but you can ask him. Oh. He's Neil Asala.
Hey, Paul. Hey, guys. Good evening. No.
No? You weren't around? Okay, I just checked.
I did see he was sick, but I'm not that old.
And our other former Marine, please don't call him sir because he worked for a living. He's a man of few words, but when he does talk, he tends to drop the F-bomb, so be careful.
Bad.
We call him Sergeant Van. You guys can call him Sergeant Van, but his name is Chuck Van Voorhuis.
Hello, everybody.
Yes? But we'll just call him Sergeant Van tonight. How's that?
There you go.
All right. Let me try to get everybody up on the screen here. Man, we got a lot of people chatting in already. We'll say a quick hello to those that are chatting in. Again, Jim Egner. Jim was our 3D printer guy that was here last week. Had a great show with him. If you guys didn't see it, make sure you look that up on my YouTube channel. G.I. Joe Eat, or I guess it's G.I. Joe AT, Adventure Team. He was all excited about this show because he watches all you guys. He's actually on a lot of your Facebook groups. You guys are all part of the Hasbro G.I. Joe, the military years 64 to 69, yeah?
Yeah.
Randy, that's you're the administrator of that?
Yes, I started it last summer.
Last summer? That's a big one, man. I've been part of that. I've been watching that. Also, the G.I. Joe Hasbro 64 to 76. A lot of you guys are on that one as well.
Yep.
The G.I. Joe Experience, and then I believe I've seen some of you guys post on the G.I. Joe the Collectors Club, yeah?
Yeah. Don't forget Chuck's Backyard Battlefield.
Oh, the Backyard Battle. I just subscribed to that a couple weeks ago. So
Backyard Battlefront.
Sorry, Chuck.
Battlefront.
Sorry.
All right. So we have a special guest waiting in the wings. I didn't bring him in yet. I'm going to just make sure he's still there. Okay, he is still there. So we're going to play a little game tonight because you guys don't know who this special guest is, do you? Or did you?
No clue.
No clue. Good. All right. So we're going to bring in our special guest. His name is Mr. X. We're going to go with Mr. X.
All right, Mr. X. Who is that?
And there was a little game back in the 50s. Randy, you probably remember this, right? There was a game show. There was a game show on called What's My Line?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that game show called What's My Line?
Sure do. Dorothy Kilgallen, and I sure do.
All right. So our game is this. You guys get to ask Mr. X yes or no questions only. We'll do a round or 2, and maybe by the end of that, you'll guess who it is. If not, he'll reveal himself, and then we'll start the questions for tonight. Is that all right?
Sure.
It's cool.
Yeah. All right. Randy, you were first on. Let's go with you. Yes or no questions only to our guest.
Are we Facebook friends?
Yes.
Sergeant Van, let's go right across.
It's already starting.
I don't know.
Come on, Chuck. Ask him a
All
question.
right, adventure team or military?
Military.
Both. Military.
Military.
But that's not a yes or no question, but okay. We'll let it slide. Terry, you're up.
Do you live on the East Coast?
No.
Okay.
That was a no, I think.
That was a no, yeah.
Okay.
Neil?
X, have you purchased ever from a former Hasbro employee's family?
No.
You live in Kentucky.
No.
Okay.
Sergeant Van, you're up again.
Do you do Joe Atlanta?
Not yet.
Okay.
Is it my turn?
Yes, sir. Sorry. Terry?
That's all right. Do you live on the left coast?
Yes.
Neil, you're up.
Are you Rich Augusta?
No.
He's already making a guess. Making a guess already. Randy, you want to make a guess or a couple more questions?
I'm stuck.
I have no clue either.
Yeah, the left coast threw me.
Ah.
We just
Have
need a
you-
reveal.
What?
Have,
I did. I'll
Hey,
give you a
Paul.
hint. I did talk to this guy earlier, and he said he actually knows or has met 3 out of the 4 of you
Okay.
at one point in time.
Well, that's not me. So, come on, guys.
Is it Mark Bray?
Is it Mark?
Yes.
It's Mark Bray.
Big Mark.
Yes, it is, fellas.
Hi, big guy.
How you doing?
Good.
What's up, big bro?
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, man.
So we got 3 guys from California now here on it. Yeah,
Like the Beach Boys.
it's the Beach Boys on here tonight. We got some people chiming in.
We're looking more like the Brady Bunch.
Mr. Dude Face, man, person.
Well done, Neil.
In fact,
Grab,
Neil was the last one I just met. So, and Randy, I've been chatting with you for years. This is the first time I ever heard your voice.
Yeah, same here.
See, you guys got to do this more often, huh?
I agree.
So,
Oh,
well, once again, I'd like to thank you all for joining me. I've been wanting to do this for a while, especially with the older collectors. A lot of the guys I've had on the show are mostly adventure team guys, and it's nice to get some of the military guys in here. I have a list of questions that I shot out to you guys, so hopefully you came up with some answers, and we're going to go through those tonight. And then if anybody that's watching wants to chat in, if they have any questions, you'll see those on the right, and just stop me as we're going. But my first question to all of you tonight, we'll start off with Randy. How long have you been collecting 1/6 scale GI Joes? I mean, if you really consider when you were, 7, 8, 9 collecting yet, or did you just restart collecting over years?
good question.
I started collecting in the early 80s. My ex dragged me to a doll show because she wanted to find something for her childhood Terry Lee doll. And not too far into the show, lo and behold, there was a naked GI Joe on the table, and started right then and there.
Nice. Sergeant Van, how about you?
I started collecting around 1994. I had a friend in the Marine Corps that collected Action Man, and we would buy them overseas. We would go to Spain and different places and pick them up. So that's how I started collecting. So I guess it's been way over 30 years ago.
Wow. Nice. My man, Terry, how about you, buddy?
So I started collecting back 1/6 figures again after childhood in the very late 90s, probably 1999, with the Ultimate Soldier Century, C-21, 21st Century. And then I found this group on Facebook, Hasbro, G.I. Joe by Hasbro, 64 through 76. And then it was 2017 when I really dove strictly into vintage GI Joes.
The vintage
2017.
stuff. Yeah. Right on. How about you, Neil?
My mom is responsible in a big way. She knew it was the favorite toy of my brother and I, Paul, and she saw an advertisement in the LA Times. They did a story on James D. Simone. He was having one of his shows at the Hilton Hotel in Pasadena, and that would have been in the fall of '91.
Wow.
And it kind of coincided, I think, when Target did that release of the Duke, the 12-inch Duke guy.
The Hall of Fame figures, yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. And so that was it. That became the beginning of obsessive compulsive disorder for an adult.
So this is a therapy group for you, then, is it?
It is.
How about our special guest? What about you, Mark? When did you start?
So
Or how
I
long?
was lucky mom didn't throw mine away, most of them. And then when they re-released all the 11-inch figures in the mid-90s, my son was about 4 or 5 years old. I said, we got to start getting these. And I remember he was 4. We went to the 97 convention in San Jose. He won a raffle, Joe. And from then on, it was, we started, and then he grew up, and we kept him. And then about 2000, started picking up some of the more vintage. In the last 8 years, it's kind of been full go. Kind of like Neil says, it's every time you see one, you get one, or you got to tweak something. So it's been a fun hunt.
Yeah. Well, the hunt's the fun, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Big Mark, that was the Chuck Yeager like breaking the barrier figure at San Jose.
I wasn't going to buy it because I was a young cop and didn't have a lot of cash, and I thought, heck with it, I'm getting it. So we got it, and still got it in the closet.
I think Brian Savage he had Chuck Yeager on the hook, and then something fell through, so they had to call it like breaking the barrier.
Yep.
It couldn't, but it was the glamorous Glennis artwork and the Joe's pretty cool set.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Before we get too much further, I want to mention that Neil and James D. Simone have become very good friends.
Yeah.
Sometimes to my own dismay, has that been the case? The bank of
Go Figure Go just popped in from New York. Thanks for watching.
All right.
G.I. Joe AT is also from New York, and I'm not sure how close you guys are, but that leads me into my next question about your collection. How large would you say your collection is right now? Or do you want to reveal that? I mean, I know a lot of people look at me, and I got 500 G.I. Joes on my garage wall right behind me, man. So every neighbor in my neighborhood and every UPS guy knows about my collection. But do you guys keep your collections a secret, or can you tell me a couple hundred, couple thousand? Not dollar figure, but how many would you say? Let's go in reverse order. Mark?
I got a few. Like Neil says, it's a secret.
1 or 2.
Geez. I haven't counted them recently, but
your wife's not watching. You can tell us.
You know what? I'm lucky. She's a champ.
That's awesome.
Every time the box comes to the front, she goes again, and I said, yeah. But she's good about it. So I've got a few hundred, mostly vintage. Because of Chuck, I started branching out into the AT because that's what the adventure teams. That's what I had mostly growing up. Because I had some of the end of the military era, but yeah, I try to mix it out a little bit. Got some branched out into Action Man and Takara and a little bit, but Joe's the main guy. So
gotcha. Neil?
I have one example of every set that was produced from 64 to the end of the adventure team. So we're looking at the figures that are decked out along some of the sets that don't have a figure with them, but the figures, I have like 118, 119 vintage figures, painted hair, and the adventure team,
hair.
the fuzzy hair guys combined.
Yeah. Terry?
Last count, I think it was close to the 150 mark, and that's why I stopped counting and I started like selling some of them off the repros that I had. So I'm thinking probably in the 120-ish, and they're all pretty much vintage with the exception of some customs that I've had. Yep.
Right on. Sergeant?
I got right around 300.
Yeah.
Mostly
Including a adventure team?
Yeah.
Right on.
I would say 3/4 of them are adventure team.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. And Randy?
I don't know. I follow the same rule with my Joes as I do with my guns. I don't count them, so when my wife asks, I can honestly say I don't know. I'm probably in the 100 area, but I can't say 75 or 150. But GI Joe AT just asked a great question.
Yeah, I was looking at that right now. I was just going to ask you guys. Do you guys have any end in sight, do you think? I mean, is there, my last question to you guys, is there a holy grail? But I guess we could throw that in right now. Is there a holy grail that you're searching for that you don't have yet? I mean, Neil, you said you have one of every one. I mean, are you done collecting, or
and all this would tie in with what GI Joe AT is asked. I'm actually now trying to go after like the ancillary items, the pinball machines, the coloring books, the play toys, that the kids, the costumes, these kinds of things. For me, at this point, believe it or not, that doggone Danger Ray detection comic book instruction sheet has been like the elusive. Can't find that thing. So that's what I really got my eye on. If I get that, I will have at least one example of every AT manual in my notebook. So
wow,
that's cool.
Anybody out there wants to, help somebody out?
Hey, man, you might be listening. You never know.
Yeah.
If people are watching and not chatting, we don't know you're there. So just chat in and say hi. If you're watching, a lot of times we get a lot of people watching, but they don't chat in. So we just don't know the number of who's watching. Same question, Terry. Holy Grail, you done collecting? Still trying to fill some slots?
There's a few things that I would love to have. State Trooper, another 7900. The what is it? What is the one with the dog sled and at the Arctic Pole? Chuck?
Fight for Survival.
Fight for Survival, right? But right now, I'm in a process of getting all of my sets, my vintage sets, complete, piece by piece. So that's just kind of how I roll. I don't try to go out and get the complete set. I like to, piece these things together. And these guys know I'm the rehab king. I bring back stuff from the dead, Mr. Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein.
Sometimes you have to. That's the only way you can find some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, he does
How about
that
you,
in
Sergeant?
a civilian job too.
Sergeant Van, same question. Is there a holy grail you're looking for, or anything you're missing from the collection?
Nope, just a few odds and ends to polish things up a little bit, but that's it.
You collect doubles of stuff, or no? Just one of every one?
Just one.
I think everybody's down to that now, right?
Yeah.
Randy, anything different?
I'm going to throw Jim Egner's question in with this. Yes, there's a lot missing from my collection. And for GI Joe AT, do I have an end in sight? I'm satisfied with what I have. Now, if somebody were to offer a nurse at a decent price, or if I fell into one, I would certainly add that. Neil sent me a link this morning to a piece that would be great for anybody's collection, but it was just I don't spend $4 on anything. I just can't justify that. So,
yeah. Mark, Holy Grail.
I haven't spent $4, but I'm kind of with Randy. I like to, hunt, but I would love to have a Crash Crew truck. And I'd love to have a State Trooper motorcycle because I've got State Trooper, but by the time I get to California, it'd be in pieces.
Yeah.
So I mean, Neil knows that. We talked about that at his place. It's just the plastic's so bad. So I'm like Terry. I've got being a longtime collector of sports memorabilia and law enforcement memorabilia. I'm in the habit of just going and grabbing in bulk, and now I'm like Terry. I'm thinning out and finishing sets, and I'm one of those guys that has 2 state troopers. Do I really need to? No. And now that I have, it's like, okay, do I get rid of it? So, I mean, the grails that I didn't think I'd ever get, I got some of them, but yeah, the crash crew truck's probably the one that I'm kind of really looking for now.
I think it was Andrea Langtot that told me that Action Man released a Crash Crew truck, but it's red.
It's red. I was watching a video on it this morning on YouTube. Guy that does
Analog Toys.
Yeah, Tony was doing one this morning. It was great.
Yep.
A lot of guys hammer. They get the rails, which are white, because the rails break, and they spray paint them silver so they can put them on their Hasbro variant. It's just tough to find, but all the 3D guys out there can fabricate. So I mean, it's starting to come out to the point where you can replace things and they look halfway decent.
Yeah, we got to give Jim Egner a big shout out for that.
Yeah, Jim and Brad Curry. I don't know if you
Brad
guys
Curry also.
Yeah,
he's helped me out. They come up with their own stuff, but they also redo a lot of those missing parts that are just impossible to find, or like you said, somebody wants $200 for a windshield. It's like, come on, man, $300 for a windshield.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, Paul, if I may, I saw one of our younger collectors on the chat, Gage.
Okay. Yep. I was just going to say that. And Tim out there in the state of Washington. Hello.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
And I just want to know, I mean, just out of curiosity, what is drawing someone of that age into this? If he could chat back or, let us know, because, when you start thinking about the hobby and the direction it's headed, and if we don't have lifeblood coming into it, it's just going to be all at the curb in a cardboard box, people just picking it up and taking it away when we're gone. So it'd be nice to see, find the motivation for the younger collectors.
It would be nice to know. Yeah. Because we fell in love with them when we were kids, and we were getting them for birthday and Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
I remember that great picture of Terry with his older brother.
Yeah.
Holding that Joe.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
That's very cool. And it's just like, you're going back and the memories tied in with it, the person who gave it to you or the situation. But, what are these younger guys feeling, what's their catalyst bringing them in?
Yeah.
I'm jumping ahead on my questions, man.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's question 10. I'm still on chat question 2, but if you want to go there right now, we can. Let's go back. We'll start at the top with Mark. Where do you see the 1/6 scale in the future? I mean, that's basically what we're talking about here. Where do you see it going?
I thought 21st Century did a good job, when they came out with their sets and kind of gave Hasbro a little kick in the pants to pick up their game, and it went on for a while. And then, when you looked at the 50th anniversary of Joe, and now we're coming up to the 60th, because that's my birthday is Joe's birthday, 64. Are they gonna make anything 1/6? I mean, it seems like Hasbro's really dropped the ball on the collector market. And when we lost the Collector Club with Brian Savage, that was huge. So you see some things out there still floating around, but like the guy said, if we have the young blood that's there to help keep pushing it forward, then hopefully it'll be something that'll sustain itself. But if not, we're going back to the 3 3/4 era. I never had one of them things, and that was my son's era. So
yeah, sure. Randy, how about you? Anything different? Where do you see the 1/6 scale head?
I'm very enthused by the young people that are coming in. Gage and Sam Burchett and Chuck's son Jacob and all these teenagers and there's a couple of younger folks, in their 20s and 30s. I think Joe's future is good. I don't know if it's safe, but I think it's good. it's just, Neil made a great point at some point I'm going to have to decide what to do with mine, and what will that be?
Sure.
And I hope it's me making the decision and not my wife.
Anything different to add there, Sarge?
Yeah, you guys are probably not going to like my opinion, but I think that the 1/6 scale's got about 15 years left, and the bottom's going to drop out from underneath of it, and it's going to the way of the toy train. I see the toy train right now being set out to the curb. No one wants it.
I think the model train's already gone, I believe, to be honest with you.
Well, there are still people that are doing trains.
I do trains as well, but I'm telling you, the conventions are just not like they used to be, man. I mean,
Chuck's probably got a good point.
Yeah. I mean, there's no younger kids at the collections at the conventions anymore. It's the older guys looking for the old Lionel stuff.
I mean, there is kids. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You've got a handful when we need millions.
Yeah,
that's true.
Not enough to keep it alive.
Hundreds of thousands, but we have a handful.
That's a solid point.
We in Kentucky last summer, Stovall took us over to his warehouse, and it's co-located with an auction facility, and the head auctioneer there, he just reinforced what Van was saying about the trains, that there's just literally heirs who are left, they inherited these things, and they're just getting pennies on the dollar because there's no memory of younger kids actually having them and playing with them and enjoying them. So there's the there's the dilemma. There's the situation, I guess. Yeah.
Terry, anything to add?
Yeah, I agree with Chuck and with Neil. I think the biggest problem is, the electronic age, the video games, kids sitting in the house, the social media, the sedentary lifestyle. Everything is, if it's not on a television screen or on an iPad or on a smartphone, it's not going to catch their interest. And if they have to get up and actually put something down like that stimulates them continuously, and it's ever changing all the time. But Joe is static, until you move him. And I feel part of the problem is that parents didn't enforce or instill in their kids the need to balance the social media, the electronic playtime with real stuff.
Imaginary playtime or makeup.
Yeah, my kids they love hopefully they'll pass it on to their kids, board games and things like that. And my middle daughter, she loves these action figures, and she caught on more than my son did. My son's the oldest. But it's that pacifying electronic metaverse that all these young people are, the millennials are living in, unfortunately.
Sure.
Right on.
Yeah. We got the big boss Jack that just joined us. Thanks for joining us. We also have Sergeant Soldier. He's down in the great state of Texas. Nacogdoches. We learned about that last week on our show. Nacogdoches. All right. Since you guys all had the figures growing up, did you actually take these outside? Were you allowed to? I had 2 hand-me-down figures from 1964 from my older brother.
Were we allowed to? We couldn't even stay in the house.
Get out. They were not allowed to go outside. My brother forbid me from taking those outside. So I was an indoor playing kid with my G.I. Joes. How about you, Randy?
Oh, I was outside as much as I could be. I'm one of those kids that you went outside when the sun came up, and when the street lights came on, you knew that was time to go in. I had one G.I. Joe buddy as a kid. And he and I, from 64 till 66, that's basically all we did was play G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
And it was outdoors as much as we could.
Sure. Terry, same deal? Inside, outside?
Oh, man, outside. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in New York on Long Island, and, the spring, summer, and the early fall, you spent as much time as you could outside. Indoors, you did what you could when it was snowing, raining, whatever, freezing, below zero, but yeah, outdoors, everything, recreating the Vietnam, trench trench jungle warfare, big time in our backyard. Yep.
Yeah. Mark, inside, outside.
Oh, outside. I mean, divers in the pool, threw the parachuters up. I mean, I was terrified the first time the elastic broke on the Joe and all 4 limbs went, in separate. And I couldn't fix him. I mean,
Before the fix it.
yeah, I didn't have Terry back then. So I would have tried to cut the elastic out of my underwear and tie it together, do something. He tried to figure it out, but so yeah, he was an outside guy. But like Terry said, when the weather got bad, it was good to go inside too.
Yeah, Sergeant Van.
I think archaeologists will be finding parts of my GI Joes for the next 10,000 years. It was outside all the way, the mud, anything you could. I played with my stuff till it was in pieces.
Yeah.
Trying to recreate those commercials that we saw on TV, right?
That's right.
With, Joe climbing in the mud and stuff. Yeah. Neil.
Mostly outside, Paul.
Yeah, outside.
Yeah, the space capsule it'd be submerged on the bottom of my grandma's pool all summer.
I love that story.
With Joe inside, and I still have my original capsule. It's pretty thrash. It's one of the worst things in the collection, but I have it displayed.
Valuable.
But it's still yours, right?
It's still mine.
It's the one you had. Yeah, it's the one you had. It means
and I still have it.
Sure.
I
Blackie
am
Maple
so jealous of
and
you guys.
Big Boss Jack joined us. Big Boss Jack said the same thing. 1/6 scale Jeep in the sandbox all the time.
Oh
outside.
man, at the beach too. We dug big trenches at Jones Beach on Long Island, and we would take I had a Jeep, my brother had a Jeep, and we would just sand everywhere. My father hated it. I mean, he loved Joe, but it was like, can you guys just clean your stuff out before you put it in my car? It was so much fun.
That's awesome, man. Hey, we'll go in reverse order on this one. Neil, you're up first.
All right.
This is a stupid question to ask you, but what was your favorite military service or set as an adventure as a kid? I mean, was it really the Marines way back then, or?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, Paul. It was the space capsule. It was the action pilot astronaut.
Nice.
That was
a curveball there.
Yeah, that was definitely my favorite favorite toy. Got the most playtime out of. My first show was an action soldier, basic action soldier, but he did a lot of lap moves across the services. So, and he enjoyed outer space the most.
Gotcha. Terry.
I'm with Neil. I had, a few Joes before the space capsule, and the astronaut. And I told Neil the story about what happened to me in preschool. And I almost had a conniption when I took it for the show and tell. Yeah. And I didn't realize that I had to share it with my friends. And that 5 minutes where I had to just sit there, and just, go into a state of shock felt like a whole eternity.
While other people were playing with your toys.
All the kids, I thought, I just sat there like, like Frasier, like, oh dear God, that space capsule was everything, especially in 1969 on July 16th. It was everything. Yeah.
Sergeant Van.
I wasn't even born when the military line came out. But I had older cousins, and they had GI Joes, and they were up on shelves, and we would go to their house, and we would look at them, me and my younger brothers, but we weren't allowed to touch them. So, like, they would just keep them right out of reach. So, like, the deep sea diver and like, that stuff was what I thought would have been great to have in my collection as a kid.
Randy, I'm picturing Army or sailor or.
Well, I as a kid, I had a soldier and a Marine. The soldier came first. The TV show Combat came out the year before G.I. Joe did. And I think probably I had more activity with the soldier side, reenacting the whatever it was that was on every Tuesday night.
Yep.
But the buddy that I mentioned earlier, his father was in intelligence in World War II, and Tom had his dad's. It was a little pocket-sized hardbound book that had a photo of every conceivable German uniform. And we would often go to just pick a random page, and then that unit would be our nemesis that day. So I guess I'd have to say soldier.
Right on. Mark, same question.
So my mom took me to buy my first Joe's. Like I said, it was into the military, beginning of the adventure team. So I got a man of action, but I also got an action pilot because he was trying to close them out. Wasn't a fighter, it was a fantastic free fall. And on the shelf, I see the space capsule. It's like, okay, I definitely want that. I wanted to be an astronaut and a pilot worse than anything. Well, then I realized I was going to grow, and astronauts are not 6'8". So, the astronauts, action pilot was always kind of my thing. But I loved all. It was kind of like, Neil, there's a lot of transfers. It's not like nowadays when you get the set and put it on the Joe. I mean, gosh, I remember learning how to sew buttons and snaps back on when I was 8, 9 years old. So
yeah.
The action pilot was the one that I really liked the most. Yeah, early.
Gotcha. Chip Douglas joined us. He said, "What year did the talking version come in? You guys, did you have the talking version, or you were already out of it?"
I was out of it.
That was
Chuck?
67. 1967.
67. So you guys were
Wasn't
out of
born
it then,
yet.
right? Or maybe right towards the end.
Hey, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Van said something that, he was talking about how his older cousins and stuff wouldn't let him touch the Joes. My older cousin, it wasn't a Joe, but he had the Batman utility belt from Remco.
That's so funny.
Yes, Remco. Yep.
That son of a bitch, he wouldn't let us wear it, and we just wanted to wear it. And
Neil beat you, Chuck.
Bastard.
Still friends with that guy or no?
No, my cousin, may he rest in peace. He passed, but he had that thing. He had some Joes. He was more generous with his Joes than he was his Batman utility, his bat utility belt. Anyway, I had to throw it in. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, that's perfect, man.
I can relate.
That's what keeps us going. I love it. Hey, Frank asked, I think this is for you, Terry.
Yeah.
Met fan or Yankee fan?
And that's a very good question.
Being on the West Coast. Being on the West Coast there.
And yeah, shoot. The truncated version is on both. Because I live in SoCal, I get to be both without taking the flat that I would take if I lived in Brooklyn.
Yeah, if you're in New York, that wouldn't fly.
It's the last place I lived. I love both teams. I grew up loving both teams. My dad was a Mets fan. Before that, he was a New York Giants fan, was heartbroken when they left. He did not like the Yankees. He couldn't stand the Dodgers. But I grew up in an era where the Yankees were semi-great after 1964, and the Mets reigned supreme in 1969. So it was, baseball paradise, basketball paradise, back then. So I couldn't choose, but I had to keep it to myself. So whatever team was winning at the time, that's the team I rooted for, of course. But here I root for both of them. I don't have a preference.
Right on. All right, next question for the whole group. We're going to start with reverse order. We're going to go Marquitz Town. A little different, off track. Any other toys that you collected or remember as a kid that were your favorite toys other than G.I. Joes?
I've actually picked a couple of them up to take up more room in my office. But remember when I was a kid, they had this, Remco had this set called Kennedy Airport. It had a record in it, played, you put a headset on, you had a big play mat. So I'm in an antique store looking for Joe's. And I look up on the shelf and there's the box, Kennedy Airport. Open it up.
It was a Marks playset or Remco?
What's that? No, it was by Remco.
Oh, it wasn't Marks. Wow.
No. In fact, it's sitting over there right now looking at me. The box is huge. And when I saw $20 on there complete, it's like, okay. So I did get that one. Some of the old cap guns I had, a few Marks figures, and I do have some Marks figures.
Yeah.
But,
I'm a huge Marks collector. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 7 or 8 complete ones, and including Chip or the Mike Hazard. But yeah, it's the nostalgia. It's all interconnected. You'd open up that Sears catalog and see, Johnny West, on the page over from Joe. It's like, well,
sure.
I mean, yeah, they're great. So yeah, it has overflowed to a couple other things, unfortunately.
Yeah. I see a bunch of guys on the side getting their favorite toys ready. I'm going to go with Randy here. Show us what you got, Randy. Second favorite toy next to G.I. Joe's.
Any gun.
Any toy gun?
I had the Mattel Fanner 50. I had the detective set. I had any kind. My dad would make wooden guns for me. Any kind of guns.
How about Johnny or System 7? Johnny 7? Wasn't that one?
No, I don't remember that one.
No.
In 1965, Topper came out with Johnny Eagle.
Yeah.
And I wanted one of these
M14.
so badly, but they were just too expensive.
Yeah, those are badass. Yeah.
But I've got them now.
Was that carbine? Was that a BB gun or was it a?
No, it's a cap gun actually.
Oh, it's a cap gun. Oh wow.
But the thing about these Johnny Eagle guns is they had projectiles, kind of like Mattel had those guns that had the plastic bullet that was spring loaded.
Yeah.
It was the same thing with the Topper guns. There was a whole line of Toppers. There was an over-under shotgun. There was a bolt-action rifle. There was a whole line of them. But
gotcha.
It's actually a cap gun.
Wow. Oh, wow. It's cool. Yeah, look at the trigger. Yep.
This is way cool.
Look at the handle. Yeah. Wow, look at that.
The action cycles. This thing is just way cool.
Man.
And of course the M14 was the battle rifle at the time. And it just took me 50 odd years to get one.
Yeah. Chuck, I see what you pulled up, man. And we got another guy in my group.
Oh, look at there.
Hey, we got a Shogun Warrior here.
Shogun Warrior, man. Does do you dare shoot the fist?
We can.
Oh, damn. Still works, man. Still works. Nice. Nice.
I like these and the $6 Million Man line.
Did you find more of those when you were stationed overseas, or more here?
These right here? No.
Yeah.
No. You find Action Man and you find Guyper Man, but that's about it.
Wow. Okay. Terry.
That's Chuck. My dad was huge into the Japanese robots. He was big into that. I was like, "What are you doing?" And now I'm like collecting GI Joe. Not the same age. So it must be in the genes or something. It was Major Matt Mason for me. I unfortunately, because my real estate is just at a premium here, I don't have the bandwidth for it or the space. But Major Matt Mason, especially in '69 with the space station and the moon crawler and all the guys, and it was just. I woke up on Christmas morning, and half of my basement was the moon surface, and my dad and my mom spread out this vinyl piece of material, and they got these white pebble rocks, and they set everything up, and I woke up and I was like,
awesome.
Where the heck am I? It was cool. Major Matt Mason for me, next to Joe. Yeah,
nice. Neil. Second favorite toy.
It's sickening. So I got a autographed baseball collection. I collect Lionel post-war, Hot Wheels red lines, and Matt Mason. So those are not all to the scale of Joe, but those are other afflictions.
So the Hot Wheels you collected as a kid, or was that more later on though?
No, we had them as a kid and played with them, and
you just didn't know what red lines were then. You're playing with them. Yeah, sure.
Now and just going after them and the pop-up sets, the Action City, and then there's the pop-up speed shop, the pop-up service station, the pop-up house with swimming pool, those along with the badges. So, Mattel had it so accessorized with all the different track and accessories and it was just, you got sucked in, right? It was like being in the mafia, and to the point where when you tried to get out, you just went out and got a paper route and bought more. That's how it was.
Hot Wheels was the bomb back in the day. Yep.
Yes, sir.
So you guys remember the movie Toy Story? I'm sure the cartoon,
Oh,
Sure.
of course.
the very first one.
Mhm.
None of you guys sound like you were a Sid Vicious growing up, were you? I mean, he was the one that blew him up with caps and stuff. I mean, none of you guys strike me as that type, but
I had some cousins that were, and a couple uncles that were very. They destroyed Joe's.
Yeah.
Blew him up, shot him,
Hi,
put
Craig.
firecrackers on him.
Look behind Neil. Greg Hedges just checked in.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's his work of art.
Oh, really?
That is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hang on, let me get you big here. Go ahead, if you can show it off there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Craig's.
this
Yeah.
is a poster.
Craig
Yep.
Hedges. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
We
Nice for
want
joining
him
us,
to-
Craig.
We want him to do another one if he's up for it. I know he got a bunch of guys helping him. I think James was in on that, and I think he'd sell a whole lot of them if he decided to pull the trigger and do it again. And
I know I'd buy one.
I'd get one. Oh yeah.
No
Hey,
doubt.
you guys are talking about artwork, right? Pop me up, Paul.
Yep.
You
Yep.
want
Yep.
to talk about artwork? Okay. Bam. Who's that by? Bam. Who's that by? Bam. Who's that by?
That's Van.
I think that's done by this guy.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
he's
taking a
got-
guess.
Yeah, that guy right there.
he's
Yep,
got
there
something
you
to
go,
show off
man.
tonight.
Boom.
Put it on the other side. There
Yep.
you go.
Yep, there you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, right
Chuck.
there, right there. Yeah, hold that,
I can't tell if that's original or not. Golly, it's perfect.
dude. That's
That's
It's
awesome.
beautiful, Chuck.
What
I
else you
got
got?
more. I got more.
You got
yeah.
and there's
Hold them
more.
up, bro. Hold them up.
Ooh.
You're right,
Yeah.
Chuck.
Oh,
You're
that's
right.
from the special value pack.
You're gonna have a salivating in a second.
you
Right
go.
there, Chuck.
God,
Yeah, hold on that side of the screen.
All right.
Yeah, that side of the screen. We got the chats up on the other side.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's cool,
Yeah, man.
dude.
That's a rare set if you can get your hands on
That's
it.
box art right there, huh?
That's hot.
Special
yeah.
value pack. Yeah.
I got a couple others. Just give me a second.
Yeah, Chuck is the man. He
Yes,
he along with Tony Stroud, God rest in peace, may you rest in peace. These guys are just amazing with these custom boxes. Amazing.
Other side. There you go.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Dude, that's
Way
like straight
cool.
up box art, man. Fuck.
Yeah,
Way
that
cool.
brings back memories. Yep. Secret of the Mummy's Tomb. That's a you put two images together, right? Right, Chuck? That's the helicopter and the Secret of the Mummy's Tomb together. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool. The box on the side.
Neil, tell them a story about this particular picture. The picture for the Frogman.
He's if you look real carefully, and I shared this with Terry. He's harvesting sponges. It's not even a Navy diver.
Yeah.
That's an Army diver. That's Scott Wild when he was like 18.
God.
He was moonlighting. He was moonlighting as a sponge diver.
Oh, dude, that's a cool.
What do you
Wait,
charge for these, Chuck?
These are $45 for the bigger ones, and the ones that are 12 by 12 are $40.
Wow.
Nice. Real
My
nice.
my father actually owns the source picture for this box.
No way.
This picture is not from the Hasbro box. This picture's from the source picture from the Marine Corps recruiting poster,
Wow.
1967.
That's
Really?
amazing.
Cool. Wow.
I got to have that one. Oh, another one way cool. UAT guys, jump in.
Hell yeah.
Mhm. There you go.
And if you customize, he makes great boxes for you. He's made-
73,
made some for me.
75.
Hey,
There you
hey
go.
Adam, I see you just joined. Hold that one back up there because we got a G.I. Joe, The Lost Chronicles. He's huge on Adventure
Boom,
Team.
boom.
Check that one out, dude. Dude, you got to add that one to your collection there, bro. That's nice.
And one more thing, if you guys don't know, I'm also a rocker.
Oh yeah.
Got to plug the music.
Yep.
This is available on
Absolutely.
Amazon.
I saw those
Yeah,
pictures of you at
13.
Kiss, man.
This is available on Amazon and any place you want to buy music, Spotify, whatever. But this is on Contralight Records in Germany.
Really? Did you do that art too?
I did not do this art, but I wrote the songs.
Wow.
Hey Van, tell him how Gene Simmons didn't want to give your Joe back.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the picture, a couple years ago, 2019, we went to see Kiss and we got backstage passes. And my kid thought it was a good idea to bring his G.I. Joe, see if we could get Kiss to take a picture with the G.I. Joe. So we're back there and we hand the G.I. Joe to Gene Simmons. And he takes a picture with it. And then when I went to get it back, the bastard wouldn't give it back. He kept pulling it out. I had to jump up and grab, because he's got those big boots on. He's really tall. I had to jump up and grab it. He wasn't going to give it back.
Thought it was a gift, man.
Yeah, and the son of a bitch grabbed me on the ass. He lost a fan that day.
Funny, man. Hey, are there any shows that you guys will all be attending this year?
Yes.
Just throw that out. Go ahead. Throw them up, man. Where are you going?
I
Yes.
very badly want to go to Louisville.
Yes. Yeah.
But we haven't been able to go to Australia to visit our kids for 3 years. And we're either going to go June, July, or September, October. So, and that's still up in the air. But I really, really want to go to Louisville. I've never been to one.
Oh, really?
No.
We're going to go out to Louisville again, Paul, and then we have a good one on June 11th at the Pasadena Convention Center.
Okay.
So that's a James D. Simone.
I was going to say, is that the one D. Simone used
It
to run,
is.
or does he still run it?
It is. It's in conjunction with a robot and space toy show,
Okay.
and then there's a separate GI Joe room. About a 8,000 square foot separate GI Joe room where everybody's going to be set up. So, mark your calendars. Wish we could get more people out there. Travels are sometimes challenging, but it's early June, so flights might not be too crazy to get a flight out there.
Terry, any shows?
I'm
Same
going to my very first show. I'm going to hang out with Neil for the day at the D. Simone show for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Chuck?
I'll be at Louisville. I'll be at both Joe Atlantas.
That's the Louisville Kentuckiana. Is that the?
Yeah.
That's the same. Okay, same show. None of you guys are hitting the Dallas Fort Worth one. I hear that's a pretty big one. Cotswold Collectibles puts that one on, I think.
Yeah. I wanted to. They changed the weekend, and we have an American Legion Department of California convention now on that weekend. So I'm big into the Legion and out of the loop. So
Gotcha. How about you, Mark? You going to attend anything this year? Or no?
I'll go to James's show in Pasadena. Neil and I have bumped into each other over the years and didn't realize it until we put things together. The last couple of years I've gone and would like to go to Kentuckiana between trip to Spain.
Mark.
Oh yeah, I know. I have to see. I met Chuck at Chattanooga, with this shirt. I think it was, 2017 now, Chuck. Geez,
Yeah,
it's been a
something like
while.
that. Yeah.
But I met him and Chris and a bunch of the guys. So yeah, I got to get back east. So Kentuckiana's on the list.
I was just up in Hershey last year. I got that show at the end of the year. That's
I
pretty
heard
good.
that was a great show. A lot of vintage 12-inch.
Oh yeah, it was almost all vintage G.I. Joe. It wasn't a lot. No, very little 3 3/4 stuff there. So
people were showing their pictures of what they were scoring. I was getting pissed. Like, yeah. Good to go.
All right, I got one more question for you. Hopefully, we got 5 more minutes to go. I know this hour seems to fly by when you're having fun with guys. We'll definitely do this again sometime. But my last question I want to definitely fit in because you guys are all big time picture picture guys on your Facebook groups. I mean, Randy will put something up I'll be at my office at 6:30 in the morning, and by 7:00, he always got all the pictures up. So don't tell me you're out taking those pictures. They got to be stock pictures. You get Randy puts up Marine Monday, and next thing you know, there's like 100 pictures of Marine. I was like, holy shit, how are those guys doing that? But my question to you is, are you more staging your photos inside? Do you have a diorama set up, or are you more outside guy pictures? Mark?
I like to go outside, but I don't have all that time. So I got a spot here in my office where I'll set stuff up, but I've done a few things outside. So it's fun. It's time consuming. But it's worth it when they turn out. I mean, Randy's got huge space in his place. So
We're all jealous of Randy, man.
Oh, he does some phenomenal stuff, but I do what I can, and yeah, it's fun. You know, it's not showing off, it's sharing, and I think that's what's fun about it.
Yeah. Randy, we're all jealous of your basement. I'm in Virginia Beach, and we don't have basements here. If anybody knows that, we're all on slabs because we're at the water.
I have a brother-in-law who lives in Virginia Beach. Yeah, I live in Michigan, so 6 months of the year I'm inside. I had to set something up, so I turned my workbench into a diorama table, and I can do European photos based on the backgrounds that I put up, or I can do Pacific photos, just depending on what mood I'm in.
Gotcha.
But if I can get outside, I'm going to be outside.
Yeah. Now this guy I know does a lot of green screen. I pulled a lot of your pictures off when I did the commercial. Do you take your stuff outside, or is it always green screen?
I take it outside. I take it on adventures with me. I do it on a green screen. I whatever you want. I'm a graphic designer. It can go any way.
Nice. Hey, before I move on, Tim had a question for you there. I don't know if you can see it on the right. Are you going to do an 8 Ropes of Danger one picture?
Yeah, it's possible we can.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Terry, inside. Most of your pictures I saw on your Facebook page were outside.
It's just a mixture. It depends on, like Mark says, it's very time consuming, and I prefer to be outside. I have had the fortune to be able to take my Joes international. I've been to South Africa, Dubai, Australia, Zimbabwe with them. Central Coast here. I really enjoy getting out and getting the element and doing, the realistic stuff. But that's, who has the time to do that all the time? You let me know and I'll do what they're doing. But yeah, I do it right here. Set up my light and a table and just go for it, with a diamond plate, fake background. It's really like, a little workout pad, but I mix it up. Get outside when I can because I love it. It's just amazing to be outside.
Oh yeah. Neil, yours inside, outside?
I'm still getting over Terry. He posted that one shot. His Joe is like sitting in first class on a Boeing Dreamliner. And that was awesome. The lion's share of my stuff is definitely indoors. I've got maybe a few outdoor shots. One outdoor shot I did was my construction combat engineer.
That was excellent.
Yeah, but we have a project going on here and expanding the kitchen in the back of the house and stuff. So there was like this big pile of gravel. So it was
brought back childhood days, huh?
It wasn't hammer caliber, but I came close to hammer caliber on that one.
Nice.
It was good, Neil. Don't shortchange yourself, man. It was good.
Jim Egner asked, "Where do you get your story ideas?" I take 2 or 3 Joes or whatever Joes I take with me, and wherever I wind up, I make the story there.
Yeah.
It tells itself. I don't have a script when I start these.
Yeah.
Neat. We live right near a city park, so I take it back there. One of my days off during the week when I know there's not kids going to be out there, and damned if I don't get 1 or 2 guys walking through the park, man, and they just you know, you think they make fun of you, but no, they stop and they're like, "Oh shit, I had that," or "I want to play that," or "Man, what are you doing out here with that?" You know, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to explain to them like, this is my stress management, and then they keep talking. I'm like, this is my stress management, like
Leave me alone. Get away.
without having a sign saying "Leave me the fuck alone." I'm doing my stress
He
management.
dropped it. He's the one.
I did. I dropped the
Yeah, where's the swear jar?
Well, good thing you're out of time. Got to go, guys. Hey, I'm
Paul.
gonna go around and any last words you want to say? If you want to plug your Facebook group or something like that, we're gonna start with our special guest tonight. Mark, we'll go back to the top. If there's anything you want to plug, if there's anything you're selling, anything you want to leave
Not
people
selling
with.
anything. You know, we do. Randy does the heavy lifting in our groups, and I just like to contribute and hang out. I mean, you know, hunting the vintage is what's fun. Going to antique shows and antique stores and garage sales. I've gotten really lucky, and you know, then sharing it, and I think that's the big thing, keeping it alive. I mean,
People can find you on all the Facebook groups, right?
Yeah, I'm
Same
there.
ones
I'm
that Randy's on?
one of the
Yep.
moderators with them on the military year. So yeah, we're always
Great.
good to go.
How about the granddaddy, Randy?
I just want everybody to understand that there is no collection that is better than any other collection.
Amen.
It doesn't matter if you have 2 Joes or 1,000 Joes. The value of your collection is known only to you.
Amen.
Right on.
So true.
Sergeant Van.
I agree with what he just said. A lot of people get all bent out of shape and say that people like us are what was the term that they used? Like elite collectors or something. I've been collecting this stuff for well over 30 years, and I did it by collecting little pieces at a time. So if you want a collection as big as we have, just be patient.
Start somewhere.
Yeah, just be patient. It'll come. And
Yeah.
I want to say Virginia Beach, I only have one tattoo. And when I was in the Marines, Virginia Beach, I ended up after a night of liberty with a freaking tattoo.
How did that happen?
It's Virginia Beach's fault.
No, Virginia Beach is a wild place. I've been all over the world.
People don't.
Virginia Beach could get you in trouble.
Yep. Why do you think they put all the Navy SEALs here, man?
That's exactly right.
Terry, one last plug for your show, for your Facebook page. What?
Yeah, I'm one of the admins with Randy in the Hasbro G.I. Joe by Hasbro 1964 through 1976. I'm a member in Randy's military group. It's always a lot of fun. I just ditto everything that everybody's saying. You know, have fun with it. You know, let it be a therapeutic output. Spread the word. Do the best you can to keep it alive for as long as we can. And, you know, go Joe.
Go Joe. Neil, wrap it up, man.
I will. You know, I can't argue with anything that was said, Paul. And I would just say I was reading back on the chat and I saw what Gage had to say about why the figures appealed to him. And he actually said he had a lifelong interest in the military. And this was kind of his way of staying connected with it and appreciating it and giving respect to it. So people do this for different reasons. They got memories from when they were a kid. They got memories from, you know, the person who gave them that particular set. Whatever the case may be, just hold on to those memories and just share your knowledge, share your passion with others. We want this hobby to grow.
Right on.
Exactly.
Right on.
Well, hey guys, it's been an honor and privilege having you on. Seriously, I've been waiting a long time to get a group of vintage guys on here. It's been fun. Hopefully we can do this again and maybe even get some different guys on.
Yeah, this was good, Paul. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I like
Appreciate it, man.
Awesome time,
Enjoyed
man.
it, Paul.
So, and again, for those of you that are chatting in, I appreciate everybody that's chatted in. Some of the names I recognize, some of them I don't. But and you can catch this show every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And other than that, guys, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in.
Paul.
Take care.
Bye, Mark.
Peace.
See you
Bye,
guys.
Van. Hey, Terry.